Right now on Denver 7 News, the January 6th committee holds its fourth public hearing, showing how state officials were pressured to overturn the 2020 election.
Gun violence is getting renewed attention with recent mass shootings, but it's something that is impacting families daily across the country. We have data that will show you just how big of a problem it is. And finding affordable housing is a challenge for many, but it's even harder for people with disabilities. The solutions that some communities are already trying that could help.
Plus, a tough loss for the Avs last night in Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Final, how the team is regrouping before Game 4. But we want to start off today with some breaking news. A fairly large fire has broken out near Erie. Now, this is in the area of 175th Avenue and Huron Street. To put this in perspective, this is west of I-25 and north of Highway 7. This is on a property with multiple vehicles on it, what appear to be several large outbuildings. You can see their fire crews are on the scene. So if you're in the area of Erie, even Broomfield, or driving down I-25 and you see a lot of black smoke, this is why. To the top part of your screen, that appears to be a longer building. We've seen video from Air Tracker 7 of several vehicles that have caught on fire. North Metro Fire is on scene. We do not have any information yet about potential injuries or what caused this fire, but it is still actively burning here again in Erie, west of I-25, north of Highway 7. This is live footage from Air Tracker 7 as North Metro fire crews work to try to contain those flames. Just looking at a map, it doesn't appear that this is a very residential area. There are larger parcels of property as this zooms out. This all appears to be on one property. You can see to the top part of your screen where several of those vehicles have burned, and then that one long building in the middle, and then the one longer building with more flames. We will stay on top of this as fire crews work to extinguish these flames and bring you more information again on this fire in Erie as soon as we know more, both on air and online on thedenverchannel.com. Let's shift now to the January 6th Special Committee's fourth public hearing, which was held today. The committee outlined the tactics today used by former President Trump and his supporters to pressure state officials to try to overturn the 2020 election. CNN's Isabel Rosales has the latest from Washington.
You're a threat to democracy!
Threats of death and violence. State officials say it's what they face from President Trump's supporters who showed up outside their homes and offices following the 2020 election.
The punishment for treason is death.
The uncertainty of that was what was the fear. Like, are they coming with guns? Are they going to attack my house?
Officials saying they were also hit with a slew of harassing phone calls from the Trump campaign.
You do have the power to reclaim your authority.
All while experiencing what some officials described as immense intimidation tactics from the top office in the land, the most powerful man in the world, to overturn the 2020 election results. Officials say they refuse to cave to the pressure.
That was Mr. Giuliani.
And what exactly did he say, and how did that come up?
My recollection, he said, we've got lots of theories, we just don't have the evidence.
The investigative committee shining a light on false allegations of a secret suitcase full of fraudulent ballots and dead voters in Georgia.
They're putting ballots that are prepared to be scanned into ballot carriers that are then sealed with tamper-proof seals so that they can, they're not messed with.
They alleged 10,315 dead people. We found 2 dead people when I wrote my letter to Congress that's dated January 6th. And subsequent to that, we found 2 more.
In never-before-seen testimony, former Attorney General Bill Barr says the Justice Department launched an investigation into President Trump's claims that the election was stolen.
Based on our review of it, including the interviews of the key witnesses, the Fulton County allegations had no merit.
In Washington, I'm Isabel Rosales.
Coloradans will be getting more money from the Colorado Cashback Plan. Now, these are your Tabor refund checks. Single tax filers will now get $750 and joint filers will get $1,500. That amount is going up because of Colorado's economy actually grew more this year than originally expected. Checks will be mailed out this summer, likely in August. Well, it won't be a Stanley Cup sweep for the Avs. The Lightning won 6-2 last night on their home ice in Game 3. The Avs started out strong, scoring first and taking the lead, but the Bolts were able to score the next 3. Eventually, the Avs pulled Darcy Kemper after the Lightning's 5th goal, replacing him with Pavel Francouz. After the game last night, Avs head coach Jared Bednar said the team will make some tweaks.
Regroup, look at the mistakes we made, talk about how to correct them, look at some of the adjustments they made, what we feel is really important to our game within the adjustments that they made. Some of them are obvious to me already as the game went on.
Now, the Avs still lead the series 2-1, so if the Avs win the next one, they could potentially win the Cup at home Friday night in Game 5. Now, you're out of luck if you want to watch Game 4 at Ball Arena. Tickets are already sold out for a watch party for tomorrow's game, but you can still get tickets for Friday's Game 5 at home. Ticketmaster has prices ranging from about $1,000 without fees to about $8,000. Those prices will likely go up if the Avs win Game 4. Now, this run to the Stanley Cup Final is really growing the game of hockey across Colorado, and that includes some groups who haven't always felt welcome on the ice. Here's Denver 7's Micah Smith.
We have to bring it home. We want the cup.
A sentiment every Colorado Avalanche fan can relate to. But for this group of fans,
there is definitely a deficit of folks who look like me.
The hockey camaraderie didn't always feel like it included them. Danielle Adams is a volunteer with the Black Girl Hockey Club, a community of Black women and allies that support BIPOC players and fans.
We're an organization that does everything from scholarship opportunities to gathering so folks feel safe when they go to games.
Adams says this year the club partnered with the Colorado Avalanche on a special campaign to further their goal of inclusion and equity in hockey.
In 2020, Black Girl Hockey Club launched a Get Uncomfortable campaign, and it was really a way for fans all across the sport to come together and say, we're going to get uncomfortable and talk about racial justice and being inclusive. Earlier this year, the Avalanche signed on to our pledge.
Through the campaign, the Avs have hosted camps for BIPOC youth and used social media to start tough conversations.
As a fan, there are maybe 5 fans of color, maybe 3 Black fans at any given home game.
Kristen Wallace hopes to join the club soon to watch the sport she loves with other BIPOC women and to continue advocating for diversity in hockey.
We need to get hockey started sooner, earlier, make it more accessible to Black kids, because really we end up promoting sports that are less cost prohibitive.
At a time when some of the league's best players continue to face racism, Wallace and Adams say inclusion has to be a priority for the NHL. And Adams says right now, all Colorado hockey fans, no matter their background, have at least one thing in common: a winning team.
Go Avs, go!
That was our Micah Smith reporting. Now, you can watch Game 4 tomorrow night right here on Denver 7. Our team coverage starts at 4:30 a.m. Our pregame show begins at 5:30 p.m. with Ann Trujillo back outside Amalie Arena there in Tampa. The puck drop is right after that at 6.
The American Academy of Pediatrics Safe Sleep Guidelines for Babies just got their first update in 6 years today. Around 3,500 sleep-related infant deaths, including from SIDS, happen each year in the U.S. The rates nearly triple among Black and Native Americans compared to white infants.
What we're trying to do is we're actually trying to find messages that resonate with families, not just Black and American Indian, Alaska Native families, but with all families, because we find that many of families have the same challenges and the same misunderstandings about what is involved in safe sleep.
The new guidelines for sleep surface for infants say they should be on a flat, non-inclined surface. In the past, doctors just said that surface should be firm. The American Academy of Pediatrics now says that surfaces with inclines of more than 10 degrees are not safe.
There are really compelling biomechanical data that show that when babies are at an incline, when they're more than 10 degrees above the horizontal, that they have more trouble keeping their airway straight, and they use more muscles to try to do that, and they can fatigue faster.
New Consumer Product Safety Commission regulations go into effect this week around sleep products. They say the only products that can be marketed for infant sleep include cribs, bassinets, play yards, and separate cribs that attach to the parent's bed. The updated guidelines also stress that co-sleeping under any circumstances is not safe. Babies should sleep in the same room as their parents for at least 6 months. Now, there's also a warning about how home cardiorespiratory monitors are being used.
You wouldn't expect your fitness tracker to prevent you from having a stroke. You can't expect one of these monitors to prevent your baby from dying suddenly and unexpectedly. So even if you use the monitor, then I think it's still important that you have to use the safe sleep guidelines, that the monitor is not a substitute.
There are also specific recommendations for the first time around how much tummy time is needed and when. They say tummy time should start soon after a baby comes home from the hospital and then build up to 30 to 50 minutes a day by the time the baby is 7 weeks old. Now, we are seeing the impact of gun violence in our communities as parents lose their children.
It just hurts so bad. It's a pain that I don't think that I'm ever going to be the same again.
And as the debate continues over how to address that violence, we are digging into what the data says about how bad the problem has gotten.
Plus, Colorado's public pools are facing major staffing shortages. Up next, what the state is doing to keep them open this summer.